You know who I can do without? I can do without the people in the video store.
Which ones?
All of them.
This is Massive Late Fee with Mike and Mark.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my co-host Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Good. We've had a good week here at Massive Late Fee. It's day 175 of the quarantine. I don't know where we're at, but it's been quite the time. It's funny. It's an adjustment for a lot of people. It's not as big of I feel kind of blessed. It's not as big of an adjustment for us. My wife already worked from home. Obviously, I work from home as well.
Would you say then that you're too blessed to be stressed?
I am too blessed to be stressed. Yeah, exactly. But but it is a bit of an adjustment. Although I do think it's quite funny to see people saying like holding up signs that say "Give me liberty" or "Give me death" and stuff like that. Especially when they have a Baskin Robbins milkshake in their hands, and it's like you're not really being that oppressed, right? Like you can still go out and get your Baskin Robbins. I don't know. It seems a little ridiculous, but that's not what we're here to talk about, I guess. Although I have so many things that I could say about morons, but I do support their right to protest. That is their constitutional amendment. And
remember back at that college a few years ago when they started there was a protest, and the protest they kept saying we're not going to.
Yes, I do remember. When they were.
And that one guy was like 40, and he was like a senior.
Yeah, it was so weird. Like, just looked incredibly old. We're not gonna protest. That's a movie that I could have mentioned for what we're talking about today, but I didn't. I do have some news to talk about today. A couple things that struck me as funny, but I guess we'll begin, or at least interesting. But I guess we'll start with the IMDb game. Mike, I've got a doozy for you here.
Oh, do you know?
I'm sure you've seen this movie too, which is nice. So, first one, under drugs, alcohol, and smoking. Some people smoke a hookah pipe.
Team America World Police.
No, although one day it's coming. Sex and nudity. The two main characters begin making out on the elevator, talking about doing it right there.
Mallrats.
Oh, no, that's a good good guess, but no. Let's see. There's a lot of action violence that is occasionally bloody, but within a science fiction context, and it is often highly stylized.
Resident Evil?
No. Let's see. Many men shoot at two men as they run away, and another man is shot in the chest. We see bloody holes in his shirt and watch him die.
Jeez. Virtuosity.
No. Let's see. During a dance scene, you can see women dancing briefly from a distance. A few have bare breasts. Women are seen in see-through shirts up close.
Bordello of Blood.
No. This one might give it to you. I don't know. It depends on... I don't know how many times you've seen this movie, but... A woman eats a piece of cake, which causes her to experience an orgasm. This is shown from close up. That's
Matrix Reloaded.
That's correct. I love the rest of this. So it's not as explicit, but still rather crude. Some people may even think she wants to use the bathroom.
Yeah, see, that part actually is pretty confusing. Like, you don't know if she has an orgasm or shits her pants.
Exactly. Yep.
Are you familiar with that scene, Mark?
Yes, I am. Monica Bellucci, right?
No, it's not Monica Bellucci. It's another woman that the Mervigian.
Yeah, Merovingian, yeah.
So I'm guessing she doesn't shit her pants because he's about to like bang her. I don't think many women are like, "Ooh, I just diarrhea over now."
Right. I'm ready now.
At least in my experience, your mileage may vary.
No, I haven't. I haven't gone the scatological route yet. But I did watch that 2 Girls 1 Cup video once.
See, I never watched that.
I wanted to vomit. Like, even thinking to myself the whole time, this is probably not real. It's probably ice cream or something. Like, it's probably staged in some way. That's as close as I've ever come to, like, retching, like, wanting to vomit without being sick or anything. It was horrifying. I probably watched maybe the first, I don't know how long it was, but I probably watched the first maybe minute or minute and a half. And I was like, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I just didn't think I'd be interested in. I never watched it.
I watched it more as a curiosity than anything else.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. I mean, there's no way to win that. I mean, either they're not actually eating shit or they're actually eating shit. I mean, it's not either way.
Yeah, and I mean, to each their own. But I don't understand that appeal as far as sexually.
I don't really get that either. I'm sure there's some deep psychological thing behind it, but I think that's one of like the first like really like big like meme/reaction videos that was out there because a lot of the fun of that video was just people filming themselves watching it or filming their friends watching it unbeknownst to them.
Yeah, I think those reaction videos I think almost made YouTube.
Yeah, because I recognize the music because I've seen the reaction videos, but I mean, like I said, I've never seen it. I know what it's about. I don't know anything about it other than it's like 2 girls eating each other's shit or one of their shit or something about eating shit. I don't know.
Yeah, basically, yes, correct. That's it. You got it.
That was actually my movie, 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Mike directed it. He just kept his eyes closed the entire time, so he hasn't seen it.
I guess I'll go back to my backup, the Bud Dwyer video.
Oh, God. That's on your resume, too.
A man is carrying a paper bag.
Oh, shit. If any of you haven't ever seen that, just look up Bud Dwyer. And, have some fun with that. Oh, God, terrible. There used to be this thing, so before the internet existed, when Mike and I were younger people, there used to be this thing called a video called The Faces of Death. They had several of them, and they were just basically just messed up stuff. Like the, what's his name, the Vic Morrow thing, the accident on the Twilight Zone, the movie. Yeah, that was in there. The Bud Dwyer thing was in there. Some other stuff too. A lot of the stuff was probably not real. Like it was probably staged.
Yeah, a lot was fake, I believe.
Yeah, but they intermixed some real stuff in there that actually got caught on film. I wonder if they ever had the Clint Malarchuk thing in there. Do you know about Clint Malarchuk?
No.
So Clint Malarchuk was a goaltender, and I think it was probably like the early 80s, like 82, 83 or something like that. They were playing a game, and this guy got checked into the goaltender and his feet came up and his skate slashed Clint Malarchuk's throat. And
actually, yeah, I know you're talking about. I just didn't know the name.
Yeah, and all of a sudden there's just blood all over the ice. The 2 announcers obviously are horrified. They really think they're seeing a human being die right in front of their eyes. And they're like, get the camera off. He's like, we're not going to show this. And luckily for him, I believe it was an away game, so I think it was the other team's doctor, had military training. He was a military doctor. He rushed out onto the ice. He stuck his hand in Clint Malarchuk's throat and pinched close his carotid artery until EMS could get there and everything and sew him up. And I mean, basically he saved his life because, he could have bled out in mere seconds if that guy hadn't done that. So I think that was probably on there too. Intense shit.
Yeah, it could be. I think there's something about like beating a monkey to death and eating its brains or something too.
Oh yeah. I've never. Have you ever even wanted to do that? They eat those monkey brains. Like they bring the monkeys out when they're alive.
No.
It's so close to a person.
Yeah.
It's very disturbing. Not that I would want to not that I would take a cow and bash it in the head and eat its brains or anything like that, but it seems even more disturbing because it's so close to a person.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh, all right. Well, my first guess is going to be One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
No.
Okay.
A woman visibly kicks a cat. It can be seen flying in the air before running away.
A woman visibly kicks a cat. Drowning Mona. Did I get it? Is it Drowning Mona? Oh no! Are you there? Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Let's see. Oh, I could share my screen with you. Where does it show our connection is? Oh, there it is. No. No. Wow, you are like fully gone, aren't you? What's the status of your Wi-Fi? Okay. Hello? Hello? Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh, maybe I should disconnect that actually. Let's see. This might be better this way. Wow, this is a lot that's gonna have to get cut out. Let's disconnect that. Let's pause for an hour then. That's fine. Hello. Can't hear you either. Hello?
Hey, that was weird. I don't know what happened there.
Me either. But it's fixed now. All right.
Let's start let's just start the parents' guide thing over entirely. Forget the clue I already gave.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, I found a better one.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
A man is shown cross-dressing, and his wife says, "You have boobs," which he says that they're not his. I know that sentence doesn't make a lot of sense grammatically.
Oh, I know it. I already know it. I know it. First clue, I think. Junior?
No.
Damn it. Oh, I thought it was Junior.
Two of the characters, one of them is the cross-dresser, are flirted with by French guards.
Okay. What movie was Danny DeVito in? He was a cross-dresser. I guess it might not be a Danny DeVito movie, but is it Screwed?
No.
No cross-dresser in that movie, really. Let's see.
A woman is hit by a car and explodes. Non-graphic.
What the fuck?
It's not graphic, Mark.
A woman is hit by a car and explodes. Holy shit. Mars Attacks?
No.
All right.
A man has his head blown off by a torrent of air. Funny and non-graphic.
Wow. This is a total farce, huh? Jumanji.
No.
Crossdresser.
One of the characters is beaten with a hockey stick and pushed around by hockey players.
This sounds so familiar too. I don't know. This might not be a Danny DeVito movie, I guess. Drowning Mona.
No.
Okay.
One of the characters is narrowly missed by a fireball in a Salt and Pepper music video. He is not damaged.
What the fuck? Just the phrase narrowly missed by a fireball.
Narrowly.
Oh my god. Holy shit. Last Action Hero.
No.
All right.
I'm going to read all the profanity right now, and 1 out of 1 found this mild. Probably the person who wrote it.
Okay.
Words like damn, hell, bitch, and dick are used in the movie. The word oh my god, though that's not a word, is used in the movie. That's all.
Right. That's it. Okay. Holy shit. A hero ain't nothing but a sandwich.
What?
That's a movie. A hero ain't nothing but a sandwich.
Oh, that's not it.
Oh, okay. It's a movie. It's a movie from the 70s, I believe. So Salt and Pepper might have been
not successful musically yet.
Right. Okay.
One of the characters could be quite scary, seeing as he's an avatar of the devil.
An avatar of the devil. Wow. I will say wolf.
No.
Okay. Oh man.
I don't think you're gonna get this, so I'm gonna give you a huge clue here, okay?
Yeah, you got it.
The scene for Northern Overexposure could be considered quite scary because of one of the characters having some of his limbs torn off by wolves.
Wait, what? Say that again real quick.
The scene for Northern Overexposure could be considered quite scary because of one of the characters having some of his limbs torn off by wolves.
Northern Overexposure. Oh, wait. Is this Stay Tuned?
Stay tuned? Yep, very good.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Kiefer Sutherland was in there for a little bit, Ben. You should check it out.
Oh, all right. Oh, I was going to do a Kiefer Sutherland one, too, but I didn't. I think I was going to do Dark City.
I've never seen Dark City. I've heard it's very good, though.
Yeah, actually, I think Dark City's a good movie, but I decided not to do it because I thought you probably hadn't seen it.
I should, although I do know what the mystery is, but still, I've heard it's good, in spite of Kiefer Sutherland being in it.
Yeah, I don't think he's in it a whole lot, but
oh my, what? He's like the star of the movie, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. It's the opposite of what we were doing with Ben, where we were pretending that Kiefer Sutherland was a big part of movies. He wasn't. No.
Oh my goodness! When I listen to the podcast, which I often do out of sheer vanity,
Mhm.
I heard his music. That's not especially great music. It's not the
No.
worst, but I mean, it's like the most generic. Like the best thing you can say about it is the recording quality is subpar or superior, not subpar.
Yeah, his voice is weird. Like you can tell it's him.
It's when he's talking. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like a really stylized like close the shades. It's like, okay, buddy. You sound like he sounds like he's trying too hard. That's what it sounds like.
Yes.
Just sing, you fuck.
I think it's like the only reason he's actually has a record is because he's Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He wouldn't have made it past he would have got no chairs turned around on The Voice or whatever they do there. I don't know.
Aren't there like a lot of those singing shows?
I think there's The Voice and then there's American Idol, right? I think that's back.
Okay, is that also? I thought there was another one. Is Carson Zinzin in one of those?
Yeah. he goes to Casa, you know.
Oh, I already knew that.
I go to Casa, but you probably need more to know that. Yeah, I think.
What did he even go to Casa for?
I don't know. I don't know. He was looking up camera technology so he could spy on Americans better. This is totally for us, by the way. No one listening has any idea what we're talking about. But yeah, I think Carson Sensen does the voice. I think he's on The Voice. I don't know.
Wait, it was. Oh yeah, I have the right one because there were two Germans that year.
Yeah, Generic was the other one.
Yeah, that was the other one. The other one had like a name like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Generic and Carson Sensen. These are foreign exchange students from when Mike and I were in high school.
Did they come from the same foreign school? Because they didn't look like they were friends or anything.
No, Carson was from like the Bavaria region, I think. Like he was from more.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he was from more.
He seemed like a fucking hick.
He did. He was more of like Eastern Europe, or I mean Eastern Russia, and not Russia.
And the other one looked like he'd be in like the gay porn parody of Die Hard.
Yes,
as the bad guy.
Exactly. Okay, Mr. Cowboy.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Exactly. So
go down. I can't go down 42 stories. I can't go down about 12 inches though.
Oh my god. The porn parody
ho
name.
Ho ho! Now I have anal beads.
The porn.
I'll go investigate. No, me. Let's both go.
The porn parody would just be Die Hard, right?
Well, if it's translated from German, yes.
So actually, that dovetails nicely with one of the items that I want to talk about. One of the news items.
Oh Lord.
I don't know if you've seen this or not, Mike. I'm gonna guess no, and it's probably sort of old news by now. But apparently, Bruce, what's his name? The from Die Hard, Bruce Willis and Demi Moore are quarantining together.
I saw that.
Those two and their daughters, and Bruce Willis's new wife and child are at their home away from them during this entire quarantine. They're wearing matching like pajamas and stuff like that. I know they have a, like a close divorce relationship or whatever, but I mean, what? It's pretty fucking weird.
It's bizarre. I think they're still getting busy, as they say.
Oh, I was talking to Carol about it, and Carol's like, oh, they're fucking for sure.
Yeah, one of them stroking the other's chest hair, and then they go, hey, Bruce, stop stroking my hair on my chest.
Right.
It's not actually from my chest.
This is transplanted hair. You should recognize this, Bruce.
She couldn't grow the super bush anymore, so she got like hair implants.
Oh my god! Yeah, when Demi Moore got crabs, you could boil them. Holy shit!
They were often mistaken for the old ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that Cthulhu? No.
Oh man, but yeah, it's weird to me. It's just I don't know. I like to each their own, but that's bizarre, especially when you have another wife a new wife and a child, and you're like, his child's like an infant or whatever. And just like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave them by themselves. Fend for yourself. I need to be with my ex-wife and my, adult children. I don't get it. And why couldn't she be there too? I don't know.
I'm sorry, I'm looking up Demi Moore's bush again. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh my God, there's no way I'll ever forget what this crazy thing looks like. But it's just, no, it surprised me every time.
It looks like it takes up a third of her body. It's so bizarre.
It's ridiculous. I don't know how you could grow that. That's how ridiculous it is.
Yeah, look, I'm not necessarily a fan of like shaving everything or anything like that, but that's way too weird. Oh God. Anybody that went down under got a hairball. Got a hair beach ball. The other thing was apparently Lori Loughlin, her defense is that this dude lied to them because he said what they were doing wasn't bribery. They were just donating to the school.
Yeah, I think he said the prosecution threatened or pressured him into doing this or something like that.
Yeah, and that's the judge is kind of aghast at this. It looks like good old Aunt Becky's going to get off scot-free on this thing.
Yeah.
But, that's what happens. The last bit of news I have, and then I have something that I found on 4chan. Actually, I found it on...
It looks like a very large rat is, laying, right between her legs. I'm looking at it right now. It's ridiculous. If you saw, a wet rat, that's...
Imagine a normal naked person, and then imagine you're in your museum and you see a picture of a naked woman, and then it's prehistoric naked woman. That's what's the woolly mammoth versus the elephant. That's what her bush is like to a modern woman. But the last bit of news that I have before we get into, like I said, I found something on Twitter that was from 4chan that I just thought was funny. Kevin Smith tweeted out some big news for him. And
this wasn't a shock to anybody.
And fans. But he says thanks.
Both that he has left.
Yeah, thanks in part to the quarantine. I finally finished a funny first draft. Now that's very subjective. A funny first draft of Twilight of the Mallrats. I guess Twilight of... I don't know what... It's not a play on words. I don't understand what that's a reference to, but 25 years after the original, Brody Bruce will be back for an unnecessary sequel set against the Mallpocalypse.
One part of this is 100% correct. This is an unnecessary sequel.
Yes. Absolutely. And Mallrats, like I said, Mallrats is... probably, it's not the best Kevin Smith movie, but it's probably my personal favorite Kevin Smith movie.
Yeah, I can see that. It's a very fun movie. I think Red State's probably the best Kevin Smith movie, but I think my favorite's Dogma. But Dogma is arguably the best as well. It's a very good movie.
Yeah, Dogma's excellent. I agree with you. Red State is also just directing alone. I think he grew a lot when he directed Red State.
Yeah, it's a really amazing. It's almost like I've never seen either the Jordan Peele movies, but I've heard they're both very good.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. It's it's a comedy guy, and suddenly he does a different genre, and it's
yeah, for sure. And I thought it was...
And much like Jordan Peele, it's much better than what he's known for, because what I've seen of Key and Peele is not good. Even though it's number 5 in the fucking top 100 sketch comedies of all time.
Yeah, ridiculous to me. But yeah, so I guess that'll come out at some point, whether or not... See, it used to be that he was beholden to movie executives. So it used to be that... he, a movie executive would be like, no, we can't make this, or you got to make changes here or whatever. But now he just funds his own movies. So, no.
Yeah, and I think he doesn't need Kickstarter and that kind of shit too.
Yeah. So this movie will get made and either at least be VOD, video on demand, if not coming to a theater. So and we'll
Right.
probably fucking see it.
I don't think so. I think I'm just done.
I mean, I don't want to see it. I want Mallrats to stay the way it is in my head, and you know, as it exists as a movie. I don't want it to be ruined in any way. This is my Ghostbusters, guys. When all you guys were up in arms about Ghostbusters. By the way, that's another movie that got delayed by the quarantine. That I don't think that other Ghostbusters remakes ever come out.
Oh, whatever.
But anyway, so
Did you see the trend that was going on this like weekend? Like people were like arguing. It was like a thing on Twitter, like your top 5 movies of all time or something like that.
Oh no, I didn't.
Or like it was like top 5 like perfect movies, and like someone put like Back to the Future, but it's like, oh yeah, it doesn't make sense why they wouldn't remember him. Like like there was this guy that looked identical to their son. Like
right.
But then someone's like, well, yeah, they only knew him for like 8 days when they were like 16, and they're like in their like what 40s or 50s at that point.
Still, if he was instrumental in them getting together, right? So
he stopped her from being raped.
Yeah. So if years later, like if you knew this guy in high school, was friends with you and the woman you ended up marrying, she kind of had the hots for him, and then years later you had a son that looked identical, that'd be a red flag to me.
Yeah, you think so?
I'd be like, what the fuck? Or what if they look up Calvin Klein and they see that he looks nothing like Marty? The whole there's definitely there are a lot of plot holes in that movie, but the movie's good enough that it doesn't matter. But yeah, certainly not a perfect movie.
Do you know of any movies that you think are perfect?
Oh God, like absolutely perfect.
I would say the first Matrix movie is perfect.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yes, I would agree. I guess the only thing that I would it's not a plot hole at all, and it's not something that like makes it not perfect. But there's a scene that's always a little bothered me just a little bit in the Matrix when he sees that cat, and then it like glitches, and you see the cat go again, and he goes, "Whoa, deja vu," and it's like, yeah, that's a very cool idea, but that's not really how deja vu works in actual life. Like deja vu's this, it's not like seeing something, twice in a row or something. It's more like I have this weird feeling that I experienced this thing before.
Yeah.
But no, I would say Matrix is pretty much perfect. I mean,
actually, now you got me thinking about that cat thing, and I think you're right. It's not perfect.
I know you. I
this movie.
I know you haven't seen it, but I think Get Out is pretty close to perfect.
I thought you were going to say Agent Cody Banks.
The height of Angie Harmon's career, Agent Cody Banks.
Oh, I thought that was Bordello of Blood, which I think you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she is in that. That's right.
She's the blood.
Yeah, basically, yes, she is. So the thing I saw on Twitter that's from 4chan, it was in reference to Trump asking if we could put bleach inside people to get rid of or disinfectant or whatever to get rid of the coronavirus. So that's fun. But someone posted.
What was the answer?
The doctor said no. So that's the answer to the question.
Okay, well, that's good.
Someone posted this on Twitter in response to people talking about this, saying he basically said, "Oh, he's just the 4chan OG," and someone on 4chan put this in. This is from Anonymous, obviously. We make really cool crystals and post results, and there's a picture of these pretty pink crystals. It says, "Okay, so this is easy. You should all have the chemicals needed around the house. You need around 5 over 9,000 pennies." I don't know what that means. I
can break this all down to you when you're done. I'll translate it.
Okay. Or copper coin from your country. So some kind of copper. And a straw. Please put these aside. Get a clean jar. Scoop 2 tablespoons of salt into it. 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Now, the first important ingredient would be in the bathroom cleaning supplies, ammonia, any brand. Pour it in until the jar is 2/3 of the way full, as tall as you want the crystals to grow. The last ingredient is laundry bleach. Careful not to spill any on your clothes! Exclamation point. Fill up the rest of the jar. Now drop the pennies into the bottom and quickly take the straw and blow bubbles into the pennies to get the crystal going. You should begin to see stringy crystals form after about 30 seconds of blowing. That's it. The attached pick took around 10 minutes of steady blowing. The pink and purple sum from the production of copper calcified using CO2 in your breath. Blowing until you're dizzy actually increases the CO2 in your breath, giving better colors. Good luck. And then a few days later, someone responded, well, thanks a lot, B. I come every day on this site for like 2 months, and I always participate in stuff to do the stuff the site says, but this time it almost fucking killed me. I am writing this shit from the hospital because I almost fucking died. Some shitface posted something to make crystals from some regular stuff everyone has. If I remember correctly, it were soda, salt, some pennies, ammonia, and a bit of laundry bleach. I had to mix it and blow through the straw until I became dizzy, because then there would be more CO2, and so there'd be nice colors in the crystals. The doctor said they found mustard gas or some shit in my body. What the fuck?
That's not true. It's chlorine gas.
Yep. And I was passed out for days. Here, have to stay here for like 1 week more, and my parents cut the internet. Thanks a lot, motherfuckers. Hope every one of you die.
Yeah, that's a very, very old meme from there.
Now, I don't know if that's actually true, but
yeah, see, it's. I'm sure it's not. It's either the same person making a post, because first of all, you can't post 3 days later on there. Like, your posts are generally gone within an hour. It's a very busy message board,
right?
Unless they're implying that like they saved it and compared it or something. And yeah, I mean, it's just like an old joke on there. It's been around for a very, very long time. And the over 9,000 thing is a reference, like it's an anime thing where they say it's like over 9,000, so they put that on there a lot.
Oh, okay. Well, cool for anime. But yeah, I thought that was a funny story. I don't, like I said, I mean, here's the thing. I'm sure people have done fucked up dumb shit from stuff they've seen on the internet at some point. But yeah, don't mix bleach and ammonia, guys. And there's stuff, you want to make hydrochloric acid, you can do that too with salt and vinegar, basically, or at least a very weak strain of it.
We'll teach you how to do anthrax on dumpster diving.
Yeah, remember the Anarchist Cookbook?
Yeah, that was a weird collection of stuff, because I don't know if any of it was accurate or even where it was sourced from. And then when the internet became more popular, there was a lot of documents that claimed to be the Anarchist Cookbook, but I don't know that they actually were. Like, there was this place called Walden Books that used to be around, and I saw a copy of it there, and I wanted to buy it, but I'd always heard stuff like, like, oh, you have to be 18 or whatever, and I looked through it, it's just kind of ridiculous. Like, I don't know if it's incorrect enough to be harmful or anything like that, but it just seems like a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, it's not like they claimed that they could teach you how to make TNT and like napalm and stuff like that. But here's the thing, like,
and like LSD and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but making TNT, yeah, you can do it, but you don't have the chemicals you need in the house, I don't think, anyway. I mean, you can make a bomb.
Not to make the true TNT, but
you can make a bomb.
You can make it explosive. I mean, it's not going to be like fucking, like Oklahoma City level shit or anything like that. But I mean, that was fairly simple, because it was just, like fertilizer. A lot of it was just fuel and ammonia. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I figured I'd read that to you because I knew right away you'd you would understand what the person was having them make.
Yeah, I was on 4chan quite a bit, like, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago. I just lost interest. It was just like a bunch of like some of it was just pure brilliance, like hilarious, like like either just like insane like stories that were obviously fake and that kind of stuff, or just like funny. Like people were just like some of the funniest people on there, but it just became ridiculous and like it just way too like annoying. It was more, I think it's just at a certain age it was more annoying than funny, so I just
yeah. Well, our main topic today, since everybody is kind of they're holed up anyway.
Unless you live in the South or in fucking Sweden, you're probably in the house a lot more than you want to be.
Right. And because of that, Mike and I figured, and it's a generic enough question that we've been asked time and time again on the email, what our favorite movies are and stuff like that. So I figured we'd talk about...
Do you have any new emails?
Yeah, there's some in there. My computer's not hooked up to my email yet, though, so I'll get it later. But
what are you, fucking 90 years old? Your computer's not hooked up to your email?
Well, because
what does that even mean?
Because I just no, I mean I could go in and sign into the account, but it's not signed into any accounts right now.
God forbid. No, I'm just fucking with you. I don't care that much.
But I'll do it next week. But anyway, we've had enough.
It's a bunch of fucking idiots writing us anyway, so I'm not in a rush.
We've had enough questions about what our favorite movies are that I figured we'd kind of talk about our favorite movies, or at least movies that we like that you might not have seen, since you're indoors and you've got movies to stream. We figured we'd give you a list. I'm gonna save what I think is the best one, not necessarily the best movie, but the one that people should watch. I'm gonna save that for last. But Mike, I guess I figure we can go one at a time. Like I'll go and then you go.
Yeah, good. I hope you go first because I couldn't think of shit for this topic, but I'll probably figure it out while you're doing your whatever you're talking about over there.
So the first one I want to do is actually, it's a movie from 2017, and it was nominated for Best Picture, I believe, and I think Willem Dafoe won for Best Supporting Actor in this movie.
Spider-Man 2.
It's The Florida Project. Basically,
I've never even heard of that movie before.
Yeah, it's streaming on Netflix. And basically, what the movie's about is this woman she lives in one of these like slum apartment buildings, basically at the doorstep of Disney World. And there's for any of you who have been to Disney World or been around those parts of Florida, you'll recognize that there are places like this where you can rent by the week and stuff like that. It's kind of like
by the hour.
Yeah.
Ask Bob Kraft.
Exactly. But she's raising her daughter there in this trying to make ends meet. At one point she gets into a lot of scams. Like at one point she tries to sell fake Disney tickets. She steals some of those wristbands, like that where you can get into the park and you can get into the line faster from this guy to try to sell. She at one point she does turn to prostitution, and it's never the movie's focused on the child and the friendships and the friends that she makes with these other poor kids, at the thing. So everything we see is from her perspective and from her eyes. So it's never like said, oh, the mom's turning tricks now. It's just she's got to be out of the apartment for a while.
There's suddenly a lot of new uncles.
Yeah, exactly. She's got to be out of the apartment for a while, and occasionally you'll see in the background like a guy come out of the apartment. So it's very good filmmaking. It's all like very subtle and everything. And Willem Dafoe is, like I said, he won the Academy Award for it. So he's excellent in the movie. He plays the manager of this like motel / apartment, and he tries to be like a force for good in their lives, I guess.
Willem Dafoe is always good. I mean, he looks like a fucking creep, but he's a great actor.
Yeah, he is absolutely fantastic.
He's excellent in autofocus.
Yes, he is. But basically this movie's kind of like it's juxtaposing this kind of poverty and struggle and stuff like that with, literally feet away is, quote, the happiest place on earth. This giant, behemoth of pay a bunch of money to, come in here and all this stuff and all the tourism that goes along with that and everything. And it's like it's kind of showing like the two different worlds. Obviously, it has some political things to say and everything, but everything is super understated. Nothing's in your face. Like, you really have to like read into it. You really have to look into the movie to kind of get anything like that out of it. For the most part, you can look at it completely as just like this little girl's story from her eyes and from her perspective, and she's really good in it too. So's the mom. The mom is a bit of stunt casting because she's not an actual trained actress. The director basically just found her, like as a poor mom. He was like, come do this movie. So it's like I said, a bit of stunt casting, but she's excellent in the film as well. And it's a really solid film. So the Florida Project, if you, if it sounds interesting to you, like I said, it's on Netflix. Go ahead and check it out. It's a very, very good film. At the end, they do film inside Disney World, and I don't think they had permission, because all of a sudden it cuts from the kind of camera and video quality they're using where it's like clearly an iPhone and they're just like running around. So I think they had no permission to film in there at all. But it's a very good, like, bittersweet kind of movie.
Well, it sounds kind of interesting. I don't think it's something I'd really especially like, so I'm probably not going to watch it. But I mean, Willem Dafoe is a great actor. He's really under. When people talk about great actors, they never mention Willem Dafoe. I guess he's not quite a character actor because he's often like the starring or co-star of a movie, like Platoon. Obviously, he's in. Was he in The Last Temptation of Christ? I haven't seen that, but I heard it's very good.
I'm trying to think. I think he was. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's just everything you see him in, he's good.
Yeah, he is an excellent actor. And just, he's, like you said, he looks creepy, but he's very good at, like, he can play sincere really well, as well as, creepy. This actually would be a pick, but I'm not really going to get it too much right now. But autofocus, he's the perfect combination. He plays a guy named John Carpenter, not the director, but who's like Bob Crane's friend, and he gets involved in this scheme to record them having like group sex and like one-on-one sex with women, and he's just menacing and delightful at the same time, and it's just wow. When he in his character turns opposed to Bob Crane, it's like you almost feel a chill in the air. Oh yeah. He's a big part of the reason that movie works.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really watch Talk Stoop when Greg Kinnear was on there. I was more of a John Henson guy. But Greg Kinnear is, judging by this movie alone, he is perfect for this role. I mean, I've heard he's very good, like as good as it gets. I haven't seen that, but he is so good in this. Like, he's just gregarious, and he's like just casually talking. Like, oh yeah, me and my buddy, we fuck these women, and well, it was just how it was. It was just happy-go-lucky kind of.
Yeah. Greg Kinnear really is good. I haven't seen him be bad in a movie. I've seen him in a couple bad movies, but I haven't seen him.
Yeah, I've only seen him in this. Really, isn't he like in a movie called Dear God about the post office or something like that?
Yeah, which is not the best movie I've ever seen in the world, but again, he's really good in it. Yeah, he's really good in it though.
Yeah, it's weird. That's we should have brought up How Do You Survive when Ben was on the other day. But yeah, it's just because he's not in a lot of stuff,
Yeah, he really isn't. He doesn't. Maybe he does a lot of maybe he does
voiceovers or something,
or like Broadway or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, he's good. So you said are you gonna use autofocus as yours, or are you gonna do a different one?
Maybe later. I think we could both talk about that one because I think we both agree that's a very underrated movie. Even if you know nothing about Bob Crane, who was what did he host? Was it The Family Feud?
No, he was Bob. So Bob Crane was Hogan on Hogan's Heroes.
Oh, that's right. I'm thinking of Ray Combs, who also died under mysterious circumstances.
Yeah, but Richard Dawson was on Hogan's Heroes, and he plays. He has a there's a guy
small role.
Yeah, there's a guy that plays him for. Very
I know it's not Paul Bettany, but he kind of looks like him.
He does kind of look like Paul Bettany. Yeah.
Okay, first thought it was Paul Bettany. I'm sorry, this is ridiculous. I don't know if you want to pause it or not, but do you mind? I'm just gonna go get a drink real quick. It'll be 2 minutes at most.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, yeah, if you want to, you know what to do.
Yeah. We're just gonna sit here and talk for a little bit, guys. So I think it's going pretty well so far. Any movies that you guys like out there? Oh, that's a good one. How about you? No. You on the bench. Yeah, you. Oh, I like that one too. That's a good one. So what I like the cinematography of that one is very good. You on the bed though. You laying on the bed, you're almost asleep. I mean, I know you're close, but you could probably think of a movie too, right? So like you. Oh. Okay. Yes. Very good acting in that movie. How about you at work with the headphones, just like sitting there? What movie would you pick as one of your favorites? Mm-hmm. Ooh. So now I mean, I like that movie. I don't know if I'd put it in my top 10, but it's
what movie?
It's a good movie. I was just talking to the audience. I was just asking them what their favorite movies were.
Oh, well, I thought you were talking about a movie.
No, just asking the audience, and they were responding to me about what their movies were.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I was actually thinking about this movie the other day before, because we kind of just came up with this topic today because we were just, Better Call Saul is over for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they'll be back next year, but who knows with them,
Right.
I mean, I'm willing to wait. I just like with George R. R. Martin, I trust that, whatever they take to get it right, it's worth it.
Yeah, agreed.
I was thinking about this movie the other day. I don't know why, just because it just randomly came to me because, it's funny, Nicolas Cage, these days is, widely heralded as some terrible actor, like a mockery of an action star or whatever. He's obviously had some personal issues and that kind of stuff, a lot of financial stuff. But the movie that I was thinking about is an adaptation.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's I don't know how well regarded as people who younger than us or even older than us, but this is a amazing movie. I mean, everything about this movie is perfect. It's really weird because it's also a movie about Mickey movies. It's written by Charlie Kaufman, who wrote Being John Malkovich. Mm-hmm. Did he write that movie with Jim Carrey and what's her name? The lady
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I think he wrote that, but I could be wrong.
I think he wrote it but didn't direct it.
No, Michael Gondry directed it.
Yeah,
but I think he wrote it.
Yeah, I think so.
This is there's a really brilliant period of film in the early 2000s to mid 2000s. Not that there's not now, but it was almost like a herald back to the 70s where some auteurs were just allowed to make whatever they wanted to. And a prime example of that was
mm-hmm.
First, he was really well known for making a lot of videos. He's associated with the Beastie Boys, a lot of really classic, interesting. He's an interesting filmmaker, which, as I've discussed before, I think that's the most important thing you want to do with a movie. Just make it interesting. I mean, everything is so similar and cookie cutter, like we watched last week. It's it's not a bad sitcom, but I mean, it's not distinct. There's nothing that makes it special or, to me, interesting.
Right.
So it's a crazy script for Being John Malkovich, which is it's layers upon layers, and the movie the adaptation is just expanded upon by that. Not only is the script more insane, but just the direction itself is really spectacular. There's a lot of really interesting choices, I think, because the basically the premise of the movie is, I assume it's real life. I don't know. I haven't really studied it that much, but screenwriter Charlie Kaufman is given the task of adapting a book called The Orchid Thief.
Mm-hmm.
However, The Orchid Thief is kind of a dry subject. It's got some interesting characters. But it's about basically a guy in Florida who steals these valuable flowers, and I think he resells them.
Yep. And
then the person who wrote the book, she, was the detached journalist. She wrote all about his life. From every account that I've read, I've never read the book, but it's an amazing piece of journalism. But however, Charlie Kaufman trying to adapt this book into a movie, he just couldn't figure it out. He couldn't crack the script. He didn't really know what to make interesting about this. So basically, the entire movie becomes about his process of trying to adapt this movie and writer's block. It's almost like, in a lot of ways, RKO 281, where there's a lot of dissection about the process of making movies and that sort of thing. But this is all strictly from the writer's point of view. He invents another character, his brother Donald Kaufman, also played by
Nicolas Cage. Yep.
And Donald Kaufman has the worst ideas ever for movies. He keeps working on the script for something called The Three, where it's a victim and a serial killer and someone pursuing the serial killer, but it's all the same
Yeah, but they're all the same person. It's like that movie Identity.
Yeah, yeah. Which is, I wonder if that's based on that. But yeah, that was weird. Like I just guessed through it. And I'm like, oh wait, this is all in that one guy's mind. Which whatever. Spoiler. That's a good movie too.
Yeah.
On the first viewing.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so he basically like takes this process, and it's also a lot about like his like personal life and how he's like comparing like the flowers in the book, so like humans mating and what people find attractive to each other, and then all of a sudden like he just kind of like makes this weird conspiracy that the author is actually in love with the orchid thief, and like there's a shootout and all this crazy like Hollywood stuff like that. His brother, who sold the script to the Three, by the way.
Right, yeah.
In the very last scene, they're like walking away to like a Weezer's cover, which is funny because Weezer is a band that Spike Jonze directed videos for. He directed Buddy Holly and the Sweater Song, I believe,
yep.
Undone.
Yep.
So it's kind of funny that it's another reference to his earlier career in a way. They were doing a cover of Happy Together by the Turtles as like we fade to black. It's a fun movie. It rewards yourself upon rewatching. If you haven't seen it, it's really a little bit of everything. It's action, it's comedy, it's drama. It's a brilliant movie.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites too. I love adaptation, and I mean, yeah. So the book was, like you said, pretty much unfilmable because it's very straight journalism, and journalistic writing is it's hard to adapt. For any kind of movie or anything like that, because it's very different from creative writing. So, yeah, he basically turned it into what it became. But there's a scene where Norm Macdonald actually references this writer or this writing teacher. But there's a scene where they go see a writing teacher played brilliantly by Brian Cox.
Yeah, and the guy, his name's Robert McKenna, I believe.
Yep. That's right.
When they approached him, to ask if it was okay to be in the movie, his only condition, to his credit, because he seems kind of like a crackpot in a lot of ways, no offense, is that Brian Cox play him, and Brian Cox is an amazing actor.
Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. He is amazing, and he does a fantastic job in the movie as well. But
Brian Cox, the first Hannibal Lecter.
Yes, that's correct. That's right. A lot of people probably don't know that.
You probably didn't hear about it.
But yeah, so Spike Jonze wrote Being John Malkovich, Human Nature, which I've seen. It's a kind of a weird movie, but it's decent.
Oh, have you saw Human Nature?
Yeah, I did.
Well, why did you see that one? That's a weird choice.
It's a Charlie Kaufman movie.
Oh, is that why?
Well, Hilary Duff's in it too.
I was going to say, who's in Human Nature?
And he wrote adaptation. He wrote Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, which is also a very good movie. Yes.
See, I wonder how much of it is a directing then, because I know George Clooney directed that movie, and I really like the direction of that movie too. But I mean, I don't know, like there's a lot of really weird, like surreal scenes. That is a really good movie.
Mm-hmm. And then he did write Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. He also, and this doesn't surprise, well, it surprised me because I didn't know it, but it does surprise me now that it doesn't surprise me now that I see it. He wrote 2 episodes of the show Get a Life, the Chris Elliott show Get a Life. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the other thing I knew he was on, which was the Dana Carvey show. He wrote.
Yes, yeah, that's true. He wrote for the Dana Carvey show as well, and he wrote for The Trouble with Larry, which I'm not sure what that is.
I'm sure Larry Miller's in.
Let's see. The Trouble with Larry is an American sitcom that aired from August 25th, 1993 to September 8th, 1993 on CBS. It starred Bronson Pinchot.
Oh, no. Was it Larry Appleton?
As Larry Burton, a man.
Oh, you can't do that. You can't call him Larry. Get out of here.
Oh, my gosh. I've done and the pilot, I think, of this for Dumpster Dive, the video dumpster diving I used to do, or I might have just written about it. But he's a man returning home to Syracuse after being presumed dead for many years. Let's see. So CBS gave the series an early start by premiering it in late August, 3 weeks after Pinchot's previous series, Perfect Strangers, finished its run on ABC. However, after poor reviews and 3 weeks of bad ratings, the series was canceled before the official TV season.
Why would you name his character Larry? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
He always said, don't be ridiculous. That's the opposite of what the man himself wants.
Exactly. They're not following his They're not following his advice. But that's how he
became successful in the first place.
Right, not being ridiculous. So Bronson Pinchot plays Larry Burton. His sister-in-law.
Isn't that the guy who got Anna Nicole Smith pregnant, Larry Burton?
Maybe. Could be. Courtney Cox plays his sister-in-law, Gabrielle Easton, who he falls in love with. Spoilers. And then Alex McKenna, Perry King, and Shanna Reed fill out the cast there.
Larry Burton's actually a former football player.
Oh yeah, that's right. So 6 episodes of that exist.
Larry Burkhead.
6 episodes of that exist. 3 of them unaired. I don't even know if you can find them.
It's probably not worth finding.
No, not at all. Like I said, I watched the pilot, and it was one of the worst fucking things I've ever seen in my life. But Bronson Pinchot, you can't, you can go wrong.
He's in it.
Yep. So my second movie, speaking of things that can't go wrong, is 8th Grade. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this movie. Oh, that's
funny.
Mike.
I actually saw. I watched a little bit of The Green Room with Paul Provenza, and Bo Burton was in it.
Yeah. Bo Burnham wrote and directed this movie.
Not Burton. That's Larry Burton.
Yeah, that's right. Bo Burnham wrote and directed this movie. I guess he's a stand-up comedian, a performance artist.
I'd say he's more of a performer, but he definitely has like a comedic focus.
Yeah. So he's
almost like Eddie Izzard, where Eddie Izzard's a comedian, but I mean, you would listen to him speak even if he didn't have any jokes. He's just a fascinating orator.
Yeah, agreed.
In person, in general, Eddie Izzard is a very like fascinating person, and doesn't he look like he could be like Ricky Gervais's like evil brother? Well, he would say to like Ricky Gervais, like, "You're not getting any of the will."
Well, they both have the same neck size, so yeah, I guess he could.
Am I not wrong? My wife pointed out that Eddie Izzard has a very short neck, but he was like next to Jimmy Carr, who has like a very long.
Yeah. No, you're right. I liked that tweet. I retweeted that tweet. Everyone, check out Mike's tweet about what's his name?
It doesn't make any sense at all.
No. He really does have a long neck, though. I'm
a big Jimmy Carr fan. I like everything I see him in, like all his stand-up and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Jimmy Carr. I like the fact that he's one of those people that doesn't care about what he says, but doesn't have to be like, and now I'm going to say something that you don't want to hear, Like,
he kind of does do that a little bit, but he just basically says, "Oh, it's getting worse," and he just doesn't, like you said, he just charges.
Right. But anyway, so yeah, 8th Grade. I can't remember the name of the woman or girl. I think she's under 18. I'm gonna look up her name real quick. The star of it, because she makes the movie. And Bo Burnham, like I said, Bo Burnham wrote and directed this movie. Basically, the movie is about a girl in 8th grade who has social anxieties.
So it's not just a clever.
No, yeah, it's not just a clever title. It's an on-the-nose title. But she has like bad social anxiety, not crippling, like where she can't go anywhere, but she gets very nervous in public situations. She gets invited to a party at one point. She does these YouTube videos to try to kind of come out of her shell a little bit. And at the end of each video, she says her catchphrase is "Stay Gucci," and she's like, "Stay Gucci," and it's so like it seems very true to life because it's so cringy. It's like every time she says it, I'm like, "Oh no, don't!" Like,
I can't. I don't think I can watch that. That stuff just makes me so uncomfortable.
But it's really good though, and it's a very Elsie Fisher. That's her name. When this came out, which I believe was a couple of years ago. Yeah.
We were doing the podcast. It was last year or the year before, I guess.
Yeah, it was 2018. And when this came out, I said it was maybe the only time I've ever taken a hard stance on the Oscars. I said Elsie Fisher deserves to win the Academy Award for Best Actress, and she wasn't even nominated, which to me is a complete travesty. I still contend this is the best performance of the year, and she absolutely carries this movie. The movie doesn't exist. Bo Burnham wrote a great script, and it's full of like very good insight into what it's like to be a middle schooler or someone just about to go into high school, what it's like to be an early teenager with these kind of social anxiety disorders, which, Bo Burnham has been pretty upfront about that he suffers from. And, she like at one point she has a panic attack, at the party. And I assume that he bases a lot of this stuff on, things that happened to him when he was younger as well. But
is it true that the script took like way longer to write than they thought because he had to push his hair out of his eyes like half the fucking time?
Yeah, like he actually started writing this when he was in 8th grade.
He's like, oh, hold on, gotta brush this aside.
But yeah, like I said, he does a very good job directing. It's a fantastic script, but without her, I mean, the movie falls apart. She is fantastic in this movie. And she completely encapsulates the cringiness, the feeling. Apparently she is 17 now. In 2020. So she was
mark your calendar, Mark.
I don't find her attractive. She was
I would hope not.
So she was 15 when this filmed. So at 15 years old, I mean, it's an amazing performance for any age, but at 15 years old, it's almost incomparable. And I haven't
even more amazing if it was a 6-year-old playing an 8th grader.
I haven't seen her in anything else since then, but she absolutely deserves to be in more movies if she's not. Maybe she's just in movies I'm not watching, but she absolutely deserves to be in more movies because she is a fantastic actress. And so it's weird to watch it as a dad because I watched it with my daughter who was in 8th grade at the time that this came out, and she also has some anxiety.
Holy shit! Is she in 10th grade now?
She will be after the
insane.
Summer. I know.
Oh my god!
It is. It is insane. But yeah, so she, we watched it together, and it's so like weird to watch it as a dad because
man, Mark, you were almost free.
Huh? I was almost free.
Yeah, she's almost 18. You have a 6-year-old. Just start the clock over.
But
just kidding. Your kids are very worth starting the clock over for.
But yeah, I know. But anyway, so like watching it as a dad is really weird because there's this one scene where this guy, she's getting a ride home from this place. She's trying to like kind of hang out with popular kids and stuff like that. She doesn't really know her place. She doesn't have a lot of friends. And this guy's driving her home from this party, and he starts asking her these questions, like sexual type questions, and it's getting really uncomfortable. And I'm just sitting there shaking my head. And I'm like, you better fucking not. I'm really.
But you're going to throw the remote through the TV.
Yeah, I'm really getting like emotionally invested in this. I'm like, even though it's a movie, I'm like, no, you fucking asshole, don't fucking do this. But spoiler alert, I guess. Nothing ends up happening. She's okay. There's no sexual assault or anything like that. But it's a very uncomfortable, it's incredibly uncomfortable, intense scene. And she plays it great. The creepy kid, I don't know who he was, but he plays it really great too. It's directed excellently. If you have kids around this age, I think it's a good thing to watch. It'll definitely kind of resonate with you if you're a kid for whatever reason listening to our show. But if you're a kid around this age, I think that it's something that you could actually an adult made it, but I think it actually connects with you. I think it's one of those rare instances where the adult that made it is either close enough to that point of his life or still emotionally in touch with that point of his life.
Or maybe wrote journals or something. Yeah,
and it's it doesn't sound like an adult trying to sound like what he thinks an 8th grader would sound like. It's pretty It's pretty spot on. Oh, she was in the second season of Castle Rock. That was she was Annie Wilkes's daughter, which was.
Did you finish that, by the way?
Yeah, I watched the rest of it. It was.
Are you happy you did that, or
it was fine? I mean, it wasn't great, but it was okay. The first season was so good. The first season was so good. I was very disappointed, but
what is it on Hulu?
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Hey, speaking of Hulu, did you ever watch that 11/22/63 on there?
I did, yeah.
Oh, you know what I was thinking of? And I thought it was too late because we were about to go on to record.
Mm.
We could have just done Stephen King movies or projects.
Oh yeah, we could have done that.
And then we could have called it the main podcast or the main show.
Yeah, we could do that someday, I guess.
All right, we're doing that now. Fuck it. No, I'm just kidding. Fuck it, we're going live.
So do you have another one, Mike? Because I've got my last one.
Mark, I probably have 1,000 of these movies, and I'm just pulling these out off the top of my head.
Okay, good.
This one I thought of. Actually, okay, I have two more. Well, I'll limit it to two more.
Okay.
This actually calls back to what you were saying earlier about the Orchid Thief. How there's a movie that's like a densely purely it's purely a book.
Mm-hmm.
Some people want to adapt every fucking book into a movie, like Catch-22 into a movie. That doesn't make any sense.
Right,
but
agreed.
They did it.
They've done it twice, as far as I know. They've done it at least twice.
It'll just take movies that are ridiculous because books have so many more layers. You get to hear their thoughts, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, another book, a dryish kind of financial book, The Big Short, by the financial journalist. Really, you could just say journalist in general, Michael Lewis. He's now a nonfiction author.
Yep,
I'm a big fan of him. He wrote
Moneyball.
This book, Liar's Poker. He wrote. He wrote. What the fuck is it? The Left Tackle movie. What's that with that?
The Blind Side.
Yeah, The Blind Side. He wrote that. He basically takes subjects and kind of tries to find the reasoning behind it. The Big Short is about the 2008 financial crisis, which at first glance is a very dry subject. It's very complicated financial instruments being traded and being backed by assets that they thought were a lot more valuable than they actually were. Then, when the assets collapsed, the financial instruments also collapsed, and there were a few people who kind of saw it coming. And this movie is insanely good. It's got a great cast. We have Christian Bale, Steve Carell's in it. Margot Robbie is in a bathtub for some reason. I'm not upset by that. It's literally put in there as a joke, but it's it's weird. I generally don't find blondes to be attractive, but her, I definitely think she's attractive.
Mm-hmm.
But it has all these crazy graphics. It's a really weird subject, but I think it was. What's Will Ferrell's writing partner's name?
Adam McKay. Adam McKay.
Yeah, I think Adam McKay directed.
Yep, he did.
Yeah, so there's all. It really does a great job of synthesizing the information and making it interesting. The book was very interesting. Michael Lewis is a great writer. I love all the stuff I've read by him.
Mm-hmm.
But he does a great job of translating this very complicated subject into something that's not only entertaining and digestible, but it's important. This is really a way that just the country was just fucked by all these bankers who didn't do their due diligence, but just had no there was no repercussions essentially.
Right.
And at the end of the movie, they break down even further all these bailouts and stuff. But yeah, it's a really great job of translating a very complicated subject, and Adam McKay is not known as a dramatic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another one where it's he's more known as a comedian, but some of his best work apparently is dramatic work. I saw Vice, which was
big movie. I really think a lot of people, it should be required watching in high school. It might be language and that kind of stuff, but let's not be babies. People hear this language,
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But
if your child is in 10th grade and they've never heard the word "fuck" before, they should be homeschooled because they can't deal with life.
Agreed.
Go send them off to Liberty University in a few years. Everything will be just fine.
Yeah, you're good. Or Prager University. Yeah, I've never seen The Big Short, and I haven't read the Michael Lewis book.
It was on Netflix. It might still be. You don't need to read the book. The movie is very.
Yeah, I've heard many, many good things about the movie. The fact that you're giving it a glowing review makes me want to watch it even more now. But yeah, I will probably check it out. But I've heard that it's very entertaining. Like you said, I heard that it's a boring topic made made relatable and fun and really conveys a lot of good information. So I will. I'll definitely check that out. But yeah, that's a good one. The last one I want to do. I'm doing this for myself, but I'm also doing this for your wife a little bit too, because her and I share a bond over this movie, as well as
that's the only bond you share.
yeah, so as well as a familial bond. But both of us have seen this movie. We saw it together, and it's completely flown under the radar. I'll bet you most of our listeners out there will have never heard of this movie. But it's got a pretty good cast, too. The movie is called Safe Men.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard of that. Isn't that Emilio Estevez?
No, it's Sam Rockwell and Eddie, or damn it, what's his name now? The guy from Saving Silverman. You know what I'm talking about. But Mark Ruffalo is in it, and so is Paul Giamatti. Johnny Dakota, yeah, okay. That's his name. No, Paul Giamatti and Mark Ruffalo. But it's Steve Zahn.
Movie.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell and Steve Zahn, and basically they're singers.
That's what he would.
What'd you say?
Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. You mentioned very good in that.
Yeah. Sam Rockwell was excellent in that, of course. But yeah. So it's Sam Rockwell and Steve Zahn, and they play lounge singers that get mistaken for safecrackers. And they get kind of pulled into this like underworld thing with Paul Giamatti, whose character's name is Veal Chop. And like I said, Mark Ruffalo's in it as well. It's directed by John Hamburg, and written by him as well. I guess he did like Zoolander, I Love You Man, and Meet the Parents and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah, I know. But this movie's actually very good. It's hilarious, and it's one of those, like, it's a madcap, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not necessarily like wacky humor, but it's not exactly subversive either. It kind of rides the line between like a broad comedy and like a subversive comedy, I guess. But it's like silly in the best kind of ways. And Steve Zahn and Sam Rockwell are fucking hilarious together. They play off of each other so well, and that's kind of what makes the movie so good. Like I said, Paul Giamatti is sort of the one of the antagonists in the movie, and he's he's very good in the movie as well. Obviously, Paul Giamatti's a good actor. But yeah, it's one of the funnier movies that I've seen, and like I said, it's completely under the radar type of movie. So if I believe that's also on Netflix. So if you have the inkling, if you want to laugh, I would check it out. It's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, that's Safe Men.
You know what's funny?
I can't believe that Alex hasn't made you watch that, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like it. You know what's funny?
What?
My call dropped out for like a minute straight there, and you just were just talking without interruption. Didn't even know.
Wow, that's what it feels like to talk without interruption. Oh no, it was good though. But yes.
Yeah, anyways.
Yeah, what's your last one, Mike?
The last one, again, I have many of these. It's kind of a weird choice. It's 2000s comedy. It's a Adam Sandler involved movie. It's a Grandma's Boy. Have you ever seen or heard of this movie?
Yep. I've seen Grandma's Boy.
Yeah, it's weird because like it's a movie. Like I heard people at work were like ravely reviewing it. Whatever. I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. And I found it to be, and I still, it's a movie I'll watch constantly. It's a very funny movie. Have you, do you agree? Do you not find it as funny?
No, I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't get how it's almost like a sleeper. I don't know if it was successful, like, on DVD or anything, but it's just Alan Covert plays like a former accountant turned video game designer. He works at this company called Brainasium, and he's working on a game called Evil Dead Slayer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's like by far the oldest person there. They call him Graybush. Like he always challenges people to classic video games. It often beats them, if not always. We never see him lose.
Right.
A project manager played by Linda Cardellini, who I could watch all day.
Mm-hmm.
She shows up on task. They're kind of delayed. Kevin Nealon, he's like this laid-back hippie, kind of wacky character. Alan Covert has a friend named Dante. He's like a drug dealer who's obsessed with like getting exotic animals.
Yeah. Yes.
It features Dr. Shokala from That's My Boy. We all know what I'm talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like there's like this antagonist. It's like a romantic comedy. Doris Roberts is in it. She's very funny. Shirley Jones, hilarious. I don't remember the other woman because he lives with his grandmother after his roommate fails to pay the rent. He's buying and then he's kicked out by Rob Schneider because, Rob Schneider has to be in everything involved with Adam Sandler. And he has a different accent in each one, so it's okay.
Yeah, apparently Rob Schneider has a blood oath with Adam Sandler they made when they were 7 or something like that.
He's got something on it. We don't know what it is, but he's got something on it. I still say that these people just don't criticize Adam Sandler, and that's why he keeps them around.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of madcap hijinks. There's like a crazy party. It's an early Jonah Hill role. He's very funny in it. He's like this, like one of their friends who works at the company with them. Like I said, it's just a fun movie. I think the performances are funny. I mean, it's not like the most unpredictable movie ever, but it's just good, solid jokes all throughout. I enjoy it. It's one I'll rewatch every.
Yeah, the only thing I really have to add, because it is a hilarious movie and one that everyone should check out. It's one of those. So it's sort of from, I don't know, one of the, I hesitate to call it a golden age of comedy, but
yeah, I'd say it's similar to Super Troopers in that when Super Troopers, I saw the previews for it, but that movie does not look funny at all. But when I actually saw it, I was like, it didn't give it justice, and I don't even know if Grandma's Boy.
Yeah, no, I agree. But it's from that era of the mid 2000s where comedies were still good. And there were some that were pretty successful, like Old School. So they gave there were a lot more chances to make comedies at that point. Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of like solid comedies recently at all. Yeah,
I know a lot of people cite The Hangover. I don't think The Hangover is unfunny, but it's not like hilarious. Grandma's Boy is way funnier than The Hangover.
The Hangover is one of those movies where like you watch it the first time and it's like, oh, this movie's really funny. But if you watch it again, it's like, yeah, it's good. Like it's the funniest the first time around. And after that, there's no rewatchable value to it. Super Troopers, Grandma's Boy, even Old School to a degree. You can watch movies like that.
Phillips movie.
Yeah, you can watch movies like that over and over again, and they're still funny.
You pick up on a lot of stuff. And Old School has so many funny parts. Everybody is great. Andy Dick has a brief cameo. He's fucking hilarious.
Yep.
Craig Kilborn's in there. Sean William Scott's in there for like maybe a minute. He's funny. Everybody in the movie is funny. Todd Phillips makes a cameo himself.
Yep.
It's just funny. It's a good movie.
Like I said, the only thing I really have to add is that the other grandma or whatever is Shirley Knight.
Is it Knight, not Jones? I wasn't sure.
No, it's
from the partnership.
No, Shirley Jones is one. Shirley Jones is one. See. Shirley Knight's the other one. It's Doris Roberts, Shirley Jones, from? Shirley Knight. So she was like an old Hollywood actress. She did a lot of like Broadway stuff, but she was nominated for The Dark at the Top of the Stairs, and Sweet Bird of Youth is from 1962 is probably maybe her most like known role. But she did a lot of she was basically like just a working actress. She did a lot of television. She did a lot of movies in the 60s and 70s. And then I think she kind of retired until I think Grandma's Boy kind of like revitalized her career a little bit because she was on an episode of House. I think she did
House, I hate that fucking show.
She was on Desperate Housewives for according to my wife for a little bit. I think she did
yeah, I believe that part. Right. According to my wife.
I think she was on Crossing Jordan. She did like a Law and Order, I think. So she came out of retirement basically and started doing like, I guess she found the love for acting again from the movies Grandma's Boy. But she's like I said, very, like hardworking actress. She's been in a ton of stuff.
Well, that's good. I feel that a hardworking actor though isn't all that hardworking.
That's true.
I mean, they're long days, but you're just fucking sitting in your trailer all day.
Yeah, memorizing a script. That's probably the hardest part, I guess. And on a movie set, I suppose you don't have to have everything completely memorized.
Yeah, especially if you're Marlon Brando.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, we should have done The Island of Dr. Moreau. That fucking
Oh my
story.
God. I need to see a documentary about that. That's a movie. I want to see Charlie Kaufman write a script about the
yes.
No, Michael Lewis, a journalist project. I don't think you can make it more insane than it actually was. Like, I think it was like the cinematographer like fled the movie and like hid in the jungle for like months.
The director, they fired the original director from the movie. This guy for years wanted to, like, it was his passion project to bring this book to the screen, and it started going over budgets. There was crazy stories coming out. Some people were complaining and stuff. So they fired the original director, but instead of leaving, he hid in the jungle, and like crew members would bring him like craft services and stuff. They'd sneak him food in the jungle, and all he was trying to do was figure out what was going on set and how the movie was going and stuff like that.
Right.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I think, isn't that where Marlon Brando like literally had like his lines written on his co-stars at certain points?
Yes. Marlon Brando, fucking insane individual towards the end of his life.
That might be his last role too, huh?
I think so, yes.
Which in a lot of ways, I mean, it's weird. I mean, I feel bad for him, but I don't at the same time. I mean, he basically had the world like, in the palm of his hands, but just like said,
yeah. I mean, yeah, I Marlon Brando got enough love and Oscar wins, and where he's
like some people like him and like Frank Sinatra. Like, I mean, Frank Sinatra never really fell off like Marlon Brando did. He had like a perfect career in a lot of ways. Like, I mean, if you wanted to be a singer, you couldn't ask for a better career than Frank Sinatra. Like, people wanted to hear like his classic at the end. They weren't like clamoring for music or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, Sinatra suffered a vocal hemorrhage fairly early in his career where he thought he wasn't going to be able to come back. But then
the mafia sorted that out.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much, yes. And then he was dating Ava Gardner, and she was contracted to MGM, I think, or I think it was MGM. And he said, "Hey, I want to part."
And another thing, if I'm going to be frank,
I want to part in this movie From Here to Eternity. I want to play Maggio because he's an Italian boxer, and I could do this and whatever. And he wins Best Supporting Actor at the Academy Awards, and his career all of a sudden, because he was like a teen idol singer. And then after he won that Academy Award, he became like the biggest fucking star in the world. So yeah, and then from that point on, his career was, I mean, like you said, absolutely perfect. You couldn't script a better career.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to feel. I mean, yeah, you feel empathy for everyone on like a human to human level, but I mean, some people are not. It's not. I wouldn't say it's lucky. I don't think anybody who's very successful is 100% lucky. I mean, there's a lot of hard work. Yeah, you say that acting is a lot of sitting around, but it's a lot of perseverance. A lot of giving up on wages and that sort of thing. I mean, some people like Frank Sinatra get famous from a very young age and are just that way until they die. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hard work, but yeah, I mean, it's like you couldn't ask. It's like a perfect career.
Yeah, and I mean, he, amazing talent too. Like, Sinatra had amazing talent.
Sure. But yeah, I think that actually gets lost a lot of times. I mean, people think of him like almost like this classical, like Italian thug type guy. Like an old school, like violent type. He would have, his manager would throw money at people whenever he like got upset and over a dessert cart. But I mean, he was a very talented individual for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'll probably end up in Jersey with a meat hook in my ass for that joke, but
it'll be worth it. But that is the show for the week. Tune in tomorrow. We'll have some dumpster diving, and the next day we might have a special little surprise for you. Instead of Tales from House or whatever we call that show.
Everybody Lies, which is a good name.
Yeah, definitely a good name. You came up with that name, right?
I think it's kind of obvious, but yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with what we did on House. But yeah, it was just becoming too boring. I mean, it's nice to mix it up.
Yep, but we're gonna
especially when there's like what 20 fucking episodes in a season of House or something crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of. It's like 500 episodes of that fucking show.
That's another good thing about Netflix and streaming stuff is you don't need 22 episodes. I mean, you never did. Was there ever a show or 24 episodes in some case, right, Ben?
Right.
There's never a need for that. I mean, I never like, oh man, I need like fucking 11 hours on this fucking story here.
No, the only reason they did it that way is because that filled out a season. The commercials and that filled out a season and paid bills. And shows used to be a lot easier to make, so that like a standard sitcom, it's like, okay, what's the conflict going to be this week? Let's write the jokes. You guys go act it. We're done.
You're not everyone's news radio where you're being like creative and brilliant. You have all these crazy sets and shit. I mean, it's all. I mean, this is a bad example because Roseanne's a very good show for most of the time. I could probably direct an episode of Roseanne like in like season 5 or 6.
For
it's
sure.
probably not doing a lot of shit. Like,
yes.
Okay. Oh, Roseanne and Dan disagree. Roseanne's right. Dan won't admit it. Oh, and one of the kids gets in trouble at school.
Yep, pretty much. And like you said, the what makes a sitcom good or bad is the jokes. Is your staff good at writing jokes, good at writing humorous situations and things like that. But it's basically the same plot wise. It's the same thing over and over again. Television's like that, to where it was made to be shoot quick, shoot fast, easy. All the lighting is the same. 3 cameras set up, flat lighting all throughout, so that we can change cameras. We can change we don't have to, there's no mood lighting or anything like that.
Yeah, I'd say it's hard to make a funny sitcom. I mean, because really, when you think about it, can you think of one? I mean, there's obviously examples like, you love Seinfeld. I'm not as much of a fan, but I mean, you would say it's a funny show.
Yeah.
I always pick on the show because it looks like the most shittiest show I've ever seen in my entire life. I've seen like a few minutes of it before, and it's terrible. The Big Bang Theory, I mean, are those even jokes?
I knew you were going to say that too. The Big Bang Theory.
Wait, but I'm too smart. You don't understand this. It's a physics thing.
No, so the Big Bang Theory is very...
Mazumba!
The Big Bang Theory is very good at talking about... I don't know. Like it's a lot of pop culture stuff.
What should be a joke. Like they know if they phrase something a certain way, people will laugh. But it's not a joke. So I don't. You know me. I have a pretty high tolerance for any. Like I can be entertained by pretty much anything. And my wife happens to really like The Big Bang Theory. Sorry.
I understand the
sorry for you.
I understand why people, criticize the show. I think it's fine, but let me tell you something, Mike. There was an episode of The Big Bang Theory where actually he was on a couple episodes, but there was an episode of The Big Bang Theory where Bob Newhart guest starred as some character on the Big Bang Theory.
Be dipshit.
And let me tell you something. Watching Bob Newhart completely school all these actors in how to be funny and like timing and stuff, it's a really interesting juxtaposition. He'll come in and he's just like at this one point. So the character he plays is Professor Proton. Basically, I don't know if you remember Mr. Wizard when we were.
Is it like a Mr. Wizard thing?
Yeah, it's basically like it's a guy they watched as a kid, and they found out that you could hire him for parties and stuff. So they hired him, and he's all confused because they're adults, because he's usually hired for kids' parties. And the dumb blonde woman, Kaylee Cuoco, on the show, he's going through all these things, and he. He's talking about, well, I guess I could do the potato clock thing. And she's like, ooh, what's that? And he says, it's where, actually one of the other actors goes, it's where he, he can power a clock with a potato. And she's like, oh, how do you do that? Is it a trick potato or a trick clock? And he's like, no, it really, there's just an electrical, small electrical impulse in the potato. It can power a potato or can power a clock for a little bit.
Richard Clock.
And she goes, She goes, "Oh my God, wouldn't that solve the world's energy problems?" And Bob Newhart just sits there for a second, completely stone-faced, and he goes, "No." And it's the way he does it, like the timing of it, the look on his face. Like Bob Newhart's a fucking like legend, and it's interesting to see him, on a show like this because, like I said, he really. He's kind of like, you kind of realize, you're like, oh my God, this guy's like a fucking legend. These people don't look nearly as good next to him. But yeah.
Yeah, they had the one guy, Simon something on Norm Macdonald's show, and he just whatever. I mean, it didn't do it. It didn't make me want to see him in anything else.
Oh yeah, Simon Helberg.
Yeah, something like that.
He does a good Nicolas Cage impression.
Well, that's good. I mean, no one else does a Nicolas Cage impression.
Right. Could I do one? Let's see.
Does he do Rodney Dangerfield?
Well, no. Come
what
on.
What about Nixon?
Hey.
I'm sorry, I missed your Nicolas Cage.
Hey, what you doing? No, that's the Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, I hope so. I didn't think Nicolas Cage had a stroke.
Nicolas Cage would be like, what? Like, who, why, where?
That's pretty good, actually. Nice.
Oh, man. Nixon. Oh, who can't do Nixon?
That's what I'm saying. That's the point.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You know who else he does? He does Christopher Walken.
Oh, does he?
But you know what he doesn't do? He doesn't do Danny DeVito.
Nice. Have you been working on it?
Oh, I've been listening. I've been listening to some stuff. I'm trying it out.
Very good.
But that is our show for the week. Tune in tomorrow. Tune in Saturday. We've got stuff you're gonna want to listen to. Love Guru.
Love Guru. Oh my God.
Just a reminder. Love Guru tomorrow.
If you're into drugs or drinking, I do that before you watch this movie, and it won't make any more. Or less.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish you had already watched it. I have a lot to say about the Love Guru.
Mike, do you remember when we saw the Mod Squad in the movie theater?
Yes, I do.
So I might do some of that before I watch the Love Guru.
Oh Lord.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See you next time.